Let's get it. Right. This guy too. Oh! No? 19 million. Damn. Damn. A terrible place to be in. Oh my god, it worked. Clip. Oh my god. Wow. That's how you defend with Loki. Holy. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Today I want to talk about Loki. Today the star of the show is going to be Loki and the Okina. So underrated. I used him for cap and it was the most smoothest experience I think I've ever had. Honestly, I think he's just so underrated. Today we were running a melee focused Loki with growing power as well as the Subsume is Wrathful Advance. There's not much else in this kit where he can do damage, but the amount of utility that you get, it feels like it was just made for solo Cascade. Now in a team, it's just going to be a little bit harder to pull off because people are going to be stealing your kills, right? People are just going to be just better at killing stuff than you, but like you can still kill stuff relatively fast as long as you're priming enemies and as long as you're using a good weapon. But the main thing is his ability to survive, his ability to taunt enemies. In my opinion, is one of the most best crowd control abilities in the game is Decoy. It's amazing. The Augment is amazing. Both Augments is amazing. And I want to talk about how you're going to play Loki. Let's just talk about the abilities first. So Wrathful Advance is going to give us a lot of crit because we're stacking so much strength. We're going to get a lot of melee crit chance. It's really strong. We're also going to get a good amount of duration because we have duration built into our build. We're also just going to talk about damage decoy. Decoy. Decoy in itself is an okay ability, but once you put an augment, it's pretty good. The reason why we want to use decoy is because of the damage decoy. Just putting a decoy there, it can be instead be casted onto enemies. Enemies who attack that decoy receive 5 random statuses, and the reflected damage is increased by 350%. That damage can actually kill the enemies and also inflict a bunch of status effects, which is going to be great for something like condition overload with our Okina, because the amount of statuses that we have on an enemy, we're going to get a good amount of melee damage coming from it. So just from that mod and just from this setup, it already has really good synergy, as well as it can really do good damage against enemies. Really good at level cap. When the enemies start getting to like level 2000s, they start just killing each other. The damage is increased by 350%. It increases more because of the amount of strength we have, right? This is scaled with ability strength, so we want to stack a good amount of strength. So instead of 350%, we now have 665% damage reflected. Obviously, that's just going to melt enemies. They're just hitting themselves. It's a crowd control ability that can kill enemies. That's pretty insane, especially for Cascade. Now let's talk about invisibility. Really simple ability. You just turn invisible, right? People really do say that this ability is okay. It's not the greatest, but man, just having the invisibility just by itself is just amazing. You get 30. If you stack duration on it, you just get a good amount of uptime on it. There's no downtime. You can just press it and you're good. I actually like this better than Varuna's hot take. I do love playing Varuna, but something I don't like is how the invisibility is kind of conditional. If you melee enemies, get out of invisibility. It's not something I like. This invisibility, it doesn't have any caveats. You're just straight invisible for 33 seconds. It's really nice. And switch teleport. The reason why switch teleport is decent is for 2 reasons. The augment, as well as switching places with Thrax. Now, with Loki, one of the weaknesses, not being able to kill really fast in the high levels. Like, you're not going to be able to kill in like less than a second, you know? You're going to take maybe about like 2 to 3 seconds to kill a Thrax. But you can kill multiple depending on your melee weapon, right? One thing that you can do, and I think is super funny, is you can switch places with Thrax so they can't get to the exo anymore. It's actually a really cool tip. It's actually really insane. I tried it, and all you have to do is just stand out the circle and you just switch. People do think you need a good amount of range, but you don't need that much range. You just need enough range to just be outside the circle. Obviously, the more the better, but I felt like even 85% just negative range, it still works. still works quite well. And also, Safeguard Switch is like Rolling Guard Plus. Rolling Guard Plus, that is what Safeguard Switch is. And also makes you into Revenant. This also stacks with duration. If you stack this much duration, I think I have around maybe 6 to 7 seconds of invulnerability. 6 to 7 seconds of invulnerability is kind of ludicrous, especially on a frame that's already invisible. Usually, if we see right here, Rolling Guard, if we fully max it out, we have a 7-second cooldown and 3-second status effects. Now, is it a hassle to cast this ability? I would say so. You don't really want to click this too often. You just want to use it to either switch with Thrax or also when you want to, right? Like if you're in a dangerous situation, like let's say you're surrounded by enemies, you haven't put your decoy yet. Using that ability, using the switch teleport, it's going to give you an invulnerability. It's just going to make you really safe. It's really good. It's really good for survivability. So let's just talk about the build. We have narrow-minded, ability duration, and we have less range because we just mainly want duration. We want a high duration of invisibility as well as a high duration on Wrathful Advance. So we want a good amount of duration. We also have Precision Intensify. This is for 90% ability strength for our fourth ability. Stacking strength onto our fourth ability is going to give us more melee crit chance. That's what I said before. So why do we have 3 Archon mods? The reason why we have 3 Archon mods is, if you guys don't know, enemies who attack that decoy receive 5 random status effects. Since this is an ability, decoy does count as an ability. That's the reason why we are using something like Archon Flow, because sometimes the enemies are going to be inflicted by cold. So it's going to drop an energy orb. We're also going to just use Archon Continuity, right? In case they inflict Toxin and also Electricity. It's really good. Like, it just allows us the decoy, damage decoy. This augment is just insanely good. For the arcanes, we're running Arcane Crepuscular. We're going to get ability strength as well as final crit damage. Really strong. We're also running Arcane Impetus. We're getting ability strength as well as ability efficiency. Pretty self-explanatory. These guys are really good. It says unique status effects. We're going to be able to apply that with decoy. So you're going to be good. Let's talk about why I'm using these weapons. Okina is actually insane. I actually just bought a Riven just because of this. All I wanted to do was use attack speed. Now, this Okina is modded for electricity and blast. The reason why we mod for electricity and blast is because we're gonna do a good amount of status damage. You guys can just copy this build. Discipline's merit, Tennokai is actually pretty important. You're actually gonna use your 4. You can reset Wrathful Advance as well as not losing your combo. So this is pretty important. You guys can copy this. Really good at clearing enemies. It's also our Thrax killer. It can just do it all. That's one of the things Loki kind of needs, is a good weapon. So yeah. And you guys already know my old reliable compressor build. We have modded for heat, corrosive, viral, and magnetic, as well as secondary fortifier. This just gives us overguard. Really strong. This is the best single target primer in the game. Like, you can hit corrosive, viral, and then you can hit magnetic and heat. Pretty insane. You usually have to pick between viral or corrosive. So the reason why we want something like Latron is because you can use either Latron or Strun. The main reason is one of the biggest weaknesses of Loki is obviously violence. And the best way to kill him is to straight up just nuke him, because we're not going to have our abilities, right? We're not going to be able to use any of our abilities when we're fighting him. It's the main way that you're going to die is from violence. So mitigating that and just killing him outright, it's just gonna be really good for you. You're not gonna die at all. That's the reason I run these guys. If you guys want to use other weapons, there's like Falcor, Kratos, Dual Ichor. Dual Ichor is actually a pretty good one. But yeah, this just melts level 10,000 enemies. I feel like you guys are gonna have a fun time with it. Diriga, good old Diriga. This is the one I use. This is just in case we die. This is actually really helpful in case we die. And the reason why I'm running Prime Laser Rifle is just so I can get the Tenacious Bond buff. I do not have a Riven on my Vergless Prime, so. Vergless Prime Rivens are expensive as hell, man. What the hell? Why are they so expensive? Anyways, the shards I'm running is 2 ability duration. These are really nice. I also am running 2 casting speed, and I'm also using 1 Tau Forge Violet Archon Shard. This is just to help us with energy. The reason why I'm running 2 casting speed and I don't have any parkour velocity, if you guys don't know, there's a bug with Proton Pulse. Use that while you can. It's really good. I love this build for solo Cascade. Just destroys everything and really does anything you want. I'm going to do a weapons platform clear. I haven't done a weapons platform clear. but I've mainly just done the melee and with the Okina loadout. If you guys want me to try out another build or recommend another build, if you guys have any characters or frames that you guys want me to cover to take the level cap, I usually only make builds that are good for level cap, or I don't want to post builds that are just going to be okay for base steel path. So if you guys want something like that, something like with base steel path, let me know. Definitely let me know down in the comments. Loki, highly underrated. One of the most comfiest solo clears I think I've ever done. Amazing character. Amazing. 10 out of 10.